Hey everyone, and welcome back to the SCREENY. We've seen a lot of loons on Dr. Phil. There was the crazy vegan guy who was like a ticking time bomb, countless hordes of spoiled rich kids, celebrities that desperately need to get their lives together, but they pale in comparison to these guys. Every now and then, an aspiring rapper comes on the show to remind us all how important it is to actually have a real job and, stay sane. These guys think they're God's gift to the industry, when in reality, their rhymes are about as hot as Alaska in January. Join us as we take a look at the worst rappers on Dr. Phil. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos about your favorite movies and TV shows. Anthony the Idiot. Out of all the aspiring rappers to walk on to the Dr. Phil show, Anthony was one of the worst. Everyone has that one friend who thinks they're really good at something when they're not, but this guy really took the biscuit. Not only was Anthony really bad at rapping and at music in general, but he thought he was the bee's knees and the next Eminem. What was more troubling about Anthony was his sheer delusion, as he told Dr. Phil that he already had a secret deal with Interscope. Needless to say, the doc put an end to that by reading a statement from the company, but it didn't stop there. Phil obviously realized that it would take a lot to persuade this guy to get his stuff together. So he planted Grammy-nominated producer DJ Silk in the audience to deliver some tough love to this nut. What did this music industry exec have to say to this word buster? Well, he wasn't about to waste his precious time by sugarcoating it, telling Anthony straight up that his raps were unrelatable and, well, trash. Did this self-proclaimed prodigy take it well? No, he didn't. A little war of words began between the two, which was utterly hilarious as Tony tried to tear down a well-renowned producer. He was no match for DJ Silk though, who took him down a few pegs and put him back in his place. Anthony, who? Nick the homeless guy. What's worse than a dude thinking he's the next Eminem? How about a homeless guy who's leaning on his parents to foot the bill on the promise that one day he'll make millions? Sure, we've all heard the odd success story, and we're not too proud to admit that we've occasionally visited the bank of mom and dad. But this takes it to a whole other level. Jennifer and Nick Sr. took their son Nick to see the doc to try and knock some sense into him. Nick left home to go and live on the streets of LA, claiming that he was going to make it as a famous rapper. But his attitude left something to be desired. According to Nick, he had a gift for words that simply meant he was destined for Hollywood. But honestly, we've read better lines in our grandma's Christmas cards. Sure, people have to start somewhere, but after a while, it's time to just give it up and get a day job, right? The story does have an element of sadness to it, as Nick had given up literally everything to move to LA and be a bum. He dropped out of college and used up the rest of his money on trying to survive, but to him, it was all part of the rap lifestyle. He told producers that he loved the rush of trying to survive. But honestly, this is too much cringe for us to handle. Billy Early. It's no secret that the rap game tends to go hands in hands with violence. Hell, Tupac didn't die because of his love of bandanas, did he? 20-year-old Billy Early appeared on the show with his parents because of his anger issues. The volatile hip-hop wannabe dropped out of high school to pursue a rap career, but he was getting nowhere fast. The mom believed in her talented son and defended him to the hilt as she told the doc that he had worked with some impressive names in the biz. Phil responded with the ultimate burn by telling her that he had too, but it didn't mean that he was meant for the music industry. Billy himself admitted to getting so angry that he often blacked out during the episodes. The babyface guy looks like a rabbit caught in the headlights sat up there next to Big Ol' McGraw, miles away from the hardened rapper he tried to portray in his videos. But then, they do say that 90% of becoming a superstar is acting. Interestingly, like nearly all of the rappers that appear on the show, Billy also didn't think that he needed a job as his art was surely going to pay the bills someday, right? Wrong. Where's Billy now? Anybody seen Billy? Yeah, didn't think so. Danielle BREGOLI, aka BHAD Baby. It wouldn't be a worst rappers on Dr. Phil video if we didn't include the baddest of the bad, BHAD Baby, would it? Danielle BREGOLI is probably Dr. Phil's most famous guest. The troubled teen appeared on the show alongside her mom a couple of years ago as her behavior was seriously out of control. Guns, Grand Theft Auto, underage boozing, and canoodling, you name it, and BREGOLI was doing it. So, what did the doc try to do to fix this fiery redhead? He sent her off to one of those camps of his, hoping that she would mend her ways while petting horses at a ranch. The episode went down so well with viewers and spawns that Cash Me Outside meme, making the teen an instant internet sensation, albeit for all the wrong reasons. When the mother-daughter duo returned to the show for a catch-up, Danielle's attitude was still as hot as ever. But it's really her post-Dr. Phil antics that we're here to discuss. What better way to capitalize on her 5 minutes of fame than launching her very own rap career under the moniker BHAD Baby? The pint-sized diva has released a few songs of extremely questionable quality over the past year, including these hukes. Alarmingly, BREGOLI had made some serious dollar off her fledgling career and is still trying to make headway in the hip-hop business. We can't see it lasting though. This girl needs to be cancelled for good. King KRIMZON. What do you do when you need to unwind from a hard day? Maybe you had a crappy day at work, so you decide to go to the bar for a few beers. Or school has been so whack that you needed to sit down and play 6 hours of Fortnite. What you probably don't do is dress up as an evil murder-rapping clown, right? Well, one guy does. Nick had been a fan of the Insane Clown Posse since he was a kid, but it took it too far. His dream to become a famous rapper was starting to get too much for his wife, who was rightly fed up with her hubby rapping about domestic violence. Nick couldn't see the big deal. After all, what's a little bit of harmless banter between husband and wife, right? Wrong. King KRIMZON was such an escape for the bleach blonde guy that he claimed it was his therapy. As soon as the contacts go in, he becomes wicked, which gives him a newfound sense of confidence. The doc questioned his motives, asking him why he would want to be that way. The long-suffering wife, Christine, was footing the bill for her husband, who had managed to get them into a total of $25,152.44 of debt. Ouch. Phil did what he does best and got 2 members of the Insane Clown Posse to talk directly to Nick via video link. And boy, did they bring him down to earth with a bang. Talent? What talent? CEEZA CAPRICE. You don't get too many people wanting to compare themselves to crazy Kanye West these days, but that's exactly who Brandon, aka CEEZA CAPRICE, thought he was on par with. This 35-year-old man-child created his alter ego so he could wear superhero costumes and rap about popping bottles in limos, because that's original. There was a lot of crazy behind Brandon's eyes and not a lot of talent. His raps were so terrible that even his mom couldn't stand them, as they always say the mom is the biggest fan. Not in this case. Poor mom just wanted her son to wake up and take a long, hard look at his life. Amazingly, Brandon actually did get a record deal at one point when he was younger, but didn't live up to his end of the bargain. They wanted him to write songs, but he didn't, so he was swiftly dropped. We would love to know what company dodged that bullet. All his poor parents wanted was for their son to admit defeat and start pulling his weight by keeping a job past orientation. But Brandon was happier just rapping in his room and playing with his lightsabers alone. That might have been okay when he was like 6 years old, but come on! How can someone get to their mid-30s and not even have a real job? Let this be a lesson to you kids. Stay in school. Just because you have a flat peak and some bling does not mean you're gonna be the next Dr. Dre. DMX. DMX? How can this uber-talented rapper be on the list? Well, sure, DMX was a pretty big thing back in his day, but where is he now? The rapper appeared on the show for a special back in 2013 to discuss his life, his 15 children, and his legal issues with the doc. He offered up a sample of his work to the audience, spitting out a few bars of his songs. While they applauded him, X just didn't have what he used to have back in the day. The last record he released was back in 2012, and critics didn't like it at all, saying the former star had more bark than his bite. The chat between the big man and DMX was pretty interesting all the same, but let's face it, there are bigger, better, and badder rappers out there that blow this now defunct artist out of the water. Sorry, X, but your career went down the pan a long time ago. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing content, and don't forget to check out one of the other two videos on your screen.